What is up, Earthnoids, Spacenoids, and everything in between? I am just a simple new type, and in this video, we are heading back to Earth during UC-0079. Specifically, we are heading to Southeast Asia as we begin our journey following Shiro Amada and the 8th Mobile Suit team. We seem to have a white base all the way up to December 31st of UC-0079. But let's rewind it back to October as we meet our new protagonist, Ensign Shiro Amada. So let's get into this. Shiro Amada and other fellow EFF soldiers are heading towards Earth in a small transport vessel. Outside of the transport vessel, a GM and Zaku fight. Shiro asks the captain if they could use the ball on board. He launches in the ball. The ball engages with the Zaku. Shiro tells the GM pilot Sanders to escape towards the transport vehicle. The ball uses a grappling hook and wraps around the Zaku while shooting it. Both the ball and Zaku explode, but the pilots escape. They are both flung out into space debris. Shiro notices the Zaku pilot is a woman. They engage in close combat with guns. The Zeon pilot is shot as well as out of ammo. She doesn't want to be taken as a prisoner, but Shiro helps her with her wounds. Their air isn't going to last forever. They split up to search for a radio to make contact. Meanwhile, the transport ship is repairing the GM. They find a missile pod and activate it, destroying a downed Magellan-class ship to grab the attention of someone. Zeon forces head to their location. Shiro tells her to go without him. She tells him that her name is Aina Sahalin. The GM comes to find Shiro right as the Zaku makes their escape with Aina. Back at the transport ship, Shiro takes a nap. He is the commander of the new 8th Mobile Suit team, and he has already experienced battle and a little love before his assignment even began. Shiro Amada meets with the battalion commander Kojima. He heads over to meet some of his new teammates. Corporal Mikkel Ninorik was on the transport ship with Shiro. He is the co-pilot of the hover truck and will serve as support with Elidor. Karen Joshua is a master sergeant and second in command of 8th MS team. She is a no-nonsense, ball-kicking leader that will be piloting one of the Gundams. Sergeant Terry Sanders was the GM pilot who helped find Shiro in space. He will also be a Gundam pilot. Elidor Massis is a sonar expert and will assist Miko in the hover truck. At the base, Shiro takes a look at his new mobile suit, the Gundam ground type. The RX-79 Gundam ground type is an early production mobile suit made up using surplus Gundam parts. But unlike the RX-78, the RX-79 didn't have a core block system and had all space functionality omitted, which actually makes it superior to the RX-78 in Earth gravity at least, due to it being lighter. Remember all those tests that were happening in Mobile Suit Gundam? Amado practicing to get faster at transforming between different G modules. That data was to be used to create a better RX-79. But because Zeon began its occupation on Earth, the RX-79 needed to be produced faster. In July, EFF established the 1st Mechanized Composite Battalion, also known as the Kojima Battalion, in Southeast Asia. They were given 12 units, some of which we are currently seeing being given to 8th MS team. Shiro launches with Sanders and Joshua in the Gundams, while Miko and Elidor launch in the hover truck. The M353A4 Bloodhound, better known as the hover truck, is a support vehicle that has Vulcan cannons, but its main function is the underground sonar, which senses vibrations and figures out location and movement of the enemy. Elidor is a sonar expert. He senses 2 Zakus nearby. Shiro spots one of the Zakus. He goes in for the attack, but Joshua stops him. If you haven't figured this out by now, this show is heavily influenced by the Vietnam War, and like the Vietnam War, they rely on guerrilla warfare to get the upper hand. Shiro doesn't understand this, but goes in for the attack anyways. Luckily, Sanders is there and uses a beam saber to destroy the Zaku. He notes that a Gundam is superior to the GM. Shiro pushes in towards the Zaku. The Zaku throws a flash grenade and makes its escape. The hover truck goes out to scout for Shiro. Shiro is pushed in too far and is now lost in the jungle. He gets out of his mobile suit to find some water. He finds a girl swimming. The girl notices Shiro and immediately starts shooting at him. As he runs away, he notices the Zaku is less than a kilometer away. He rushes back to the Gundam. The Zaku approaches Shiro. He hides in the bushes and shoots the Zaku. It hits, but the Zaku comes at the Gundam with its heat hawk. Shiro keeps shooting until the Zaku goes down. Shiro makes his way back to base. On a later mission, Joshua and Shiro are out scouting when a Zaku comes out of hiding. Also, the hover truck is noticing shots that are too accurate to the 8th MS team's location. It turns out to be pillboxes with a Zaku. A pillbox is a camouflaged blockhouse with a small opening to fire heavy weapons. There is a road leading up to the Zeon line of defense. Shiro plans on going around towards the waterfall while Joshua heads an attack on the front. Shiro makes his way around towards the rear, looking for that one girl he spotted from the other day. He spots her, but unfortunately for Shiro, she is a part of the guerrillas. They take the Gundam and attack Shiro. They tie him up and take him to their leader. Joshua hasn't heard from Shiro, but they start making their assault in the front. Meanwhile, the boss, who is the one girl's father, wonders if he can help their village. The boss agrees. The girl and Shiro head out in the Gundam. She tells Shiro that her name is Kika Rosita. He is running late on the operation. Shiro heads underwater. Meanwhile, Elidor is searching for Shiro, but spots 2 helicopters instead. Joshua and Sanders are struggling in the front. Luckily, Shiro makes his assault in the back, taking out one pillbox. The hover truck moves in. The Gundam hides in the river. 2 Zakus pass by. The gorilla comes in and attacks the Zaku. Shiro uses this opportunity. He gets out of the water and attacks the Zaku and battle helicopters. He is able to take out more pillboxes. The Gundam takes out a helicopter. Zaku comes in and pushes him into the water. They engage in an underwater melee battle. Shiro uses a flash bomb, jumps out of the water, and launches missiles on the Zaku. The Zaku isn't down, however, and it makes its escape. In the process of destroying the pillboxes and Zeon forces, they were able to liberate one of the villages that was once occupied by the guerrillas. Joshua asks Shiro to call her by her first name, Karen. She is very impressed that he was able to get the guerrillas to work with EFF. We will be calling her Karen from now on as well. In low Earth orbit, Zeon is testing the mobile armor Asperis. The pilot of Asperis is none other than Aina. It enters into Earth atmosphere. Back at EFF, a member of the 7th MS team is taunting Sanders about getting members of his team killed. They start fighting. The soldiers start taking bets on who would win. Shiro comes to help his team member right as Kojima appears and breaks everyone up. At Zeon, Aina and her brother Genius. Wait, really? Genius? Okay. They're celebrating the completion of the Asperis' first testing phase. They meet with a brash Admiral Yuri Kalani. At EFF, Sanders wants to request a transfer because he has lost every other teammate and is known as a jinx. Karen thinks he is being stupid and says he doesn't have the balls, so she kicks him in the balls. Shiro doesn't accept his request for transfer at the moment. The Asperis launches again from low Earth orbit, but descends too far. On the ground, Zeon forces pull back. Eleanor is able to pick up a transmission about the Asperis. No one makes a move except for Mikkel, who panics and shoots. They are now exposed. 2 DOPs protect the Asperis and assault the 8th MS team, but the Asperis attacks, obliterating the jungle around them. Sanders uses a beam saber and goes in for the attack. Shiro and Karen supports them. The Asperis makes its escape. Everyone is alive. Sanders is starting to ease up and stop thinking he is such a jinx. And that will do it for this episode. If you haven't noticed, the relationship developing between Shiro and Aina are very similar to that in Romeo and Juliet. 2 people from opposing forces coming together. This actually happens quite a bit in Gundam. We also see that warfare is quite different in the jungle. One must rely on guerrilla tactics to survive. I love the entire feeling that you are following a bunch of grunts around during the war. No high commanding officers, no royal bloodlines, except for Aina. We'll get to that. Not a lot of resources. It's just a team trying to do their best with possibly the worst. But until next time, new types, maybe turn off your lights on your Gundam when fighting in the jungle at night. Peace.